Welcome back everyone. So today we're just installing some little goodies on the 350Z. It's been a while since I've actually done anything on it because I've been away, and with the IPDM issues that I had, I pretty much fell back a few steps. So today we are installing a semi-deep dish steering wheel, possibly a quick release. I'm not certain if I'm going to install this or not, but I guess we'll see. And a boss kit, so it actually fits. And the boss kit comes with pretty much resistors in a way. It's fuses, but yeah, it comes with everything that you need, so the airbag light doesn't show up. And let's get to this. Before you do any sort of airbag work, obviously remove your negative and positive. I reckon, personally, I just remove it just both for safety, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove this and let's get into it. Why I'm removing my steering wheel, because it looks like shit. Like literally it just looks crap and it's just peeling away. It's just not a nice look, and the aftermarket steering wheel that I have is going to be 10 times better than this peeling nonsense. And so obviously if you're doing any sort of a steering wheel replacement, you will lose cruise control and whatnot. For me it doesn't matter because drift car things, and I don't really need cruise control. You could retain this with a bunch of like brackets and stuff if you really want to get like creative and make custom stuff for yourself, but I'm just not going to bother. To remove your steering wheel, you pretty much have a T30 on each side. It's got the small knobby thingy in the middle, and you need a special T30 in order to remove this. So just go ahead and remove both sides, and that pretty much releases the airbag in the front. You remove both sides, the bolts holding this in, you'll pretty much now be able to move this out of the way and take the plugs off. If you're successfully at this stage, you should 100% remove your airbag the safe way. And the safe way is to take your battery terminals off and then remove your airbags, unless you want a explosive in your hand, pretty much, more or less. This will just shoot up and it will not be a nice time for your face. So let's just get going with this. Clearly someone's been in here because this little tab's broken. And just like that, airbag could go into the spare parts pile now. And we've got access to this, so just remove the nut and start removing the steering wheel. So now we're just going to get removing this ground wire over here, and then you got this that goes to your clock spring. Remove this, make sure to not damage your clock spring. The less movement that you do with the clock spring, the better, because these clock springs are very touchy, and the slightest little thing you do to them, they will pretty much get damaged. And now you grab a 19 and a Milwaukee gun, hold your steering wheel, zap it off, just like that. So normally this requires two hands, so I'm just going to put this down quickly, and then you got to pretty much hold both sides, put your legs on each side of the floor, and just pretty much wriggle. Oh wow, okay, that is the first steering wheel I've had that came off without a hassle. Okay, I'm happy with that. So once you've removed everything, the clock spring is a very touchy thing, and I'll say that 50 times. A lot of people don't understand how like touchy these things are. Like, you touch them wrong, they break. So basically, now that everything's there, we pick up the cable that we've been given with the kit for the horn, and just loop it in like that. And now you're going to grab your boss kit and pretty much line this up with that and put it on slowly as possible, and pretty much loop these wires in underneath. Once you've pretty much installed this boss kit, loop in these wires from under this hole, you pretty much grab your nut, put it on. You could put Loctite on this if you really want to, if you really like that in depth with needs and requirements, you know, of this not coming off. But this is my Loctite for situations like this. So I'm just going to put this down and zap this on, and we should be good to install the steering wheel and possibly the quick release. Then you go on to the diode in a way, or like the resistor for the airbag, which is practically a 2 amp fuse, which isn't falling into this recording properly, but you pretty much put it in like that and then just loop around here. If you really want to, for this to not pop off, if you like drifting or like doing anything crazy, you can just put a bit of tape around it so it just holds it in place, which I may do that, to be honest. Let's see if this is just looped in there. You grab your base plate for the quick release, put it on to which angle you feel like is correct, and you gotta pretty much line your steering wheel and your clock spring and everything all together and try to get the right angle so that your steering wheel is going to be straight. Okay, so I just totally realized, or remembered I should say, that if I run a boss kit I can't run a horn. So I'm just probably going to put this in there and forget about the horn. Illegal? Yes. Do I care? Meh. This is what it looks like with the base plate of the quick release on. So basically, if you didn't want the quick release on, or if you're just installing a steering wheel, you just put the steering wheel here and just bolt it on. Pretty easy. But I've got a few extra little steps. So now obviously you could put Loctite on these. I suggest putting Loctite, but I used bolts that actually have nut and washers on it, so I should be good, hopefully. But Loctite is always suggested when it comes to your steering wheel, because you obviously don't want it to come off midway while driving. Now do them up to torque to spec, which, you know, my torque to spec is by my hand. Install everything on, just install 2 bolts over here as a mock-up situation, so you can see if the steering wheel is straight or not. Go for a test drive with the 2 bolts, it's not going to be dangerous. Just make sure that your steering wheel is straight and then put the rest in with Loctite. So just what I thought, my steering wheel is a bit off, but also my alignment is all a bit off as well, so that could play a role in it. So I just need to stop and turn the steering wheel around. This is going to be your best friend, because obviously this is going to shake and rattle and come loose. Always use a blue Loctite and not the red, because you're going to have an issue taking the steering wheel off next time. And just like give it a light coat on the threads, put them back in, and Bob's your uncle. I've made sure that my steering wheel is all straight, but obviously I have some alignment issues at the moment, which I need to go get a wheel alignment. It's not a problem, and then my steering wheel will fully be straight. Now that you've installed everything, this is pretty much your final outcome. A way better, cleaner and nicer looking steering wheel setup. So obviously quick releases are big time illegal in Australia due to obviously particular reasons for road use, but yeah, let's just hope for the best.